Hi, it's dawn here at Stickletarn, and it looks like it's going to rain. I'm hoping not. I've just put the washing out. Right, I'm just about to go and do some sort out the water tanks so that we're filling them all. Right, we've completed our first week of eating only what is in the house, or what we're growing, what's in the freezers, etc. So I'll update that in a minute. So let me just show you what I'm doing here. Right, I'm just switching hoses over on the IBC tanks. Oh, some days I just don't have the strength. Oh, there we go, push it up. So, and it's so the water can be siphoned from this tank, which is full, to that tank. There we go. And then I shall move it from that tank to that tank, and then move the remainder over to this one, ready for when it rains again and they fill up. So I'm just going to go and open up the polytunnels, let some air in there. Martin's over the back, sorting out the some more fencing, electric fencing, to move the mama buffaloes over. Oh, the blast of warm air's come out of there. Right. As you can see, things are starting to die off now in the garden, so they all need clearing. That courgette plant's still producing, but the others all need coming out. I did get my blueberries picked, which I'll show you. I've got guava berries there ready to come on. We've got some carrots ready to start harvesting, which is quite nice. And this tunnel's got to be cleared down. I've got squashes there to bring in to dry. Grapes that are left up there, they've got to go to the pigs. There's still some tomatoes, but everything is starting to shut itself down now for winter. Aubergines, peppers waiting to be harvested. So right, so that's that done. I see nobody's let the ducks out, or have they? I'm looking down the bottom there. No, it doesn't look like the duck's gate is open, so I better nip down and open that up. Still got strawberry plants there in flower, and in fact there is still wild strawberries coming on. Let me show you. Every now and then when I walk past, sort of pick some. But yeah, there's still some weed there. Still a few wild strawberries there. And in fact my other strawberry plants, which are waiting to be potted up, should really bring them in the polytunnel because they're producing fruit. Lovely and sweet. You can see the hedges have been cut down. This is still all got to be cleared up yet. And we got to rebark the area. The place is starting to look a bit like a junkyard, which I don't like, so that's all got to be cleared up. Well, it'll get done, it'll get done. Right, let's go down and Let the ducks out. Okay, ducks. Let you out. Come on then. Now that black and white one there is one of the new ones from this year, and that one's actually a male, so he will end up in the freezer. The other one there, it's a female, so she gets a reprieve. Chickens, etc. He's got his new run there. I've got a couple of chickens to move over to him yet. Brown and the black one, who tend to live with these. There's the black one, she's up there in the doorway. They're going to move over to you're all looking a bit scruffy at the moment, aren't you? Look at you. Just going through a molt. He's lost his tail feathers in his molt, so he's not looking his best. But the yeah, so in this run it will just be a light Sussex. And he has got one chicken in with him. I think she's, I can just see her, she's hiding in the doorway. The sun's coming out. I want the sun to stay out a bit, get my washing dry. Puppy. Shut the gate so you don't go in and eat the chicken feed and the duck feed and the eggs, etc. Right, heading back into the house now. Yeah, so an update on what I was saying last week with our food situation here. Yeah, it went well. We stuck to what was on the board. That was our meals for the week. The only change of plan was a bit dark when I walk through here. The only change of plan was Martin's weekend diving was cancelled. Today's Saturday, by the way. Yeah, so his weekend diving was cancelled because we had a storm moving in on Friday, and it's been postponed to next weekend. So we yeah, that meant there was an extra meal to cobble together. Oh, what did we have last night? No, we had the pulled pork last night. So yeah, so I can't remember. So tonight, yeah, so that was Sunday, we started it last week, but I've got up on the board now from Saturday. He's planning to be away next weekend, so, but of course it could end up being cancelled. So let me show you what's on the board. Right, we've got sweet and sour chicken, and there's a bit of broccoli still in the fridge to use up, so that's going to go with it, and there's a little bit of asparagus there, so that's going to go with it as well. At some point this week we're going to have a roast buffalo dinner, and it will be with veg, roast potatoes for Martin, etc. I'm going to do a sausage casserole, and I shall add some spinach and spring onions to that. Fish chowder, which will be some of the leeks from the garden and the peppers. Goat stir fry, which will be with courgettes, because we've still got a few courgettes coming on, and peppers and pak choy. We've got some pak choy ready, and there's some aubergine, so that'll all go into there. And I'm going to do some buffalo pies. I've still got one of my keto ones in the freezer, but I'm going to do some buffalo pies. So if Martin's trip is cancelled again, one night he will have buffalo pie and chips and peas from out the freezer. And we've got ready to harvest, we've got some spinach, Swiss chard, leeks, pak choy, cabbage, kale, spring onions, tomatoes, peppers, aubergines, apples, carrots and courgettes. And then panning round the what to preserve this week. sweet and sour sauce, which I've done this morning. I'm just about to start doing some chocolate courgette loaves, and I need to get a vanilla extract on the go this week. I've got some pickled cucumber to get done. The courgette didn't get dehydrated and frozen, but I have shredded up a load this morning, and I'm going to use those, some of those in the chocolate courgette loaf. And I've got to get a loaf of bread done for mine this week. We have got sloes to forage this week, if possible. And I've got to get planted out some, I'll see about, I haven't even bought them in yet, the garlic, onions, and I've got mushroom beds to do to use at that mushroom spawn that's sitting in the fridge. And then I've got a list of things I want to get sown as well. So winter salad, pak choi, coriander, bulb fennel, some peas and carrots. The fridge situation is, no, I've still got my canner sitting there cooling. Let's move the gas on. Fridge situation is looking a lot better this week. There's a little bit of asparagus there to use, some celery. There's a leftover sweet pulled pork from last night. Martin will have that for his lunch, and I've got some raspberries there to have. I've still got a few grapes. There's a couple of big courgettes there to use, and some tomatoes. And down the bottom there's the blueberries that I picked. And with the blueberries there's some red ones as well, and they're called pink lemonade. The drawers at the bottom, bit of broccoli, there's a little bit of red cabbage there. So we are getting through it all. The only shopping I did was the butter. That was all I bought this week. Nothing else, which was quite good. Yeah, so all I bought this week was the butter, and I made a point of going into Iceland, our Iceland, which is a frozen food shop. It's also called the Food Warehouse. On Tuesdays they do, for over 60s, you just prove your age and you get a 10% discount. So I made a point of going on the Tuesday, and while I was there I did pick up a new egg rack, which means Paige can't get in to pinch the eggs. And they had kitchen roll on special offer, so I did buy some of their special offer kitchen roll because I knew we were down to the last one. So in total, with what my saving and the saving on the kitchen roll, etc., I saved a total of £3.95. Now what I've decided to do is all these pennies that are being saved here and there from buying only in special offers, etc., is going into a jar. So that's just £3.95, and we'll use that to treat ourselves at some point. But yes, I did get most of what was on my list done. I did the oranges and lemon in honey. I've just done the sweet and sour sauce, which is on this week's list. I got some soup canned up, which used up a lot of the veg. I can't remember now. My mind's going. But yeah, I did get a lot of things done this week. So I've got the courgettes there, grated up. And shower caps, great, they're lovely for covering bowls over. The courgettes are in there, they're covered over to keep the little flies off, and they're draining, so I'm going to be using those in some baking this afternoon. And what I don't use will go into bags, weighed out and frozen. So yeah, it's all going to plan. On this week's shopping list, have a look at this week's shopping list. Nothing. The shopping list is empty. There's nothing we need. The meals are all planned around what we've got in, and yeah, so that's it. There's nothing I need to buy in this week at all, food wise, which is really, really good. Although I am going to go back to Iceland on Tuesday because I'm going to treat us to a new air fryer, because our one is starting to make really horrible noises. Not that we use it that often, because we tend to use the Rayburn most of the time, but it's, you know, it's nice to have there for when we do want to use it. And in fact, coming up, not this week because we've got a lot on, but the following week, we're going to be stripping down the Rayburn, giving it a complete service, changing the ropes on it, putting in new fire bricks, etc. I'm going to do a video on all of that. I'm going to do a video of Martin doing all of that. We're also going to flush through all the radiators, etc. So that's all going to be done, which means the Rayburn will be out of use for a couple of days. So we will be using the air fryer then, or the slow cooker. So that's the update on this week's food situation. I know there's quite a few of you who are doing similar, and you've been popping over to have a look at Tracy's videos as well, which is on our Smallholding Adventure, and it just feels a lot easier on me. I'm not getting so stressed out now over the food situation, because I know what we've got and I know we're actually starting to use it. And I just want to say as well, because I had a couple of people querying me as to why I'm using up our food stocks. The food we grow and raise here keeps us going. We don't need to hoard lots and lots of food. And like a lot of people during the pandemic situation, etc. Yes, I am a prepper, but there was also, I found there was a lot of prepping videos, and it was all putting a lot of pressure on people and scaremongering, etc. But also what I've noticed recently, and this is no disrespect to our the video creators abroad, but the American video creators, they're a bit more, what am I going to say, hardcore than us here in the UK, and they're very much into, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to buy this, you've got to buy that, and a lot of what they do over there doesn't apply to us. We don't have the same weather situations, etc, etc. So I'm now at the stage where a lot of what they say I take with a pinch of salt, and I'm not going to get swayed by the high pressure of them and what they're saying. And the other thing I found it's been irritating me for a few months. There's a couple of them who I follow, and they're very good at standing there saying, this is happening, that's happening, so you've got to keep busy, you've got to go to the shops, you've got to buy this and you've got to buy that, and, you know, have cupboards and cupboards and cupboards of food. And but then they don't tell you what to do with any of it when you've got it there. So through my videos, and there's lots of short videos, I am showing how I'm using up what food we've got, which I think is an important part of it. It's no good having it all there if you don't know what to do with it at the end of the day. So anyway, I hope you click to subscribe and you continue to follow this story. Like I say, we're just going into week 2 now, and it's all going well. Week 2 of no shopping. Yeah, it's quite nice actually to know I don't have to go to the supermarkets or anything, and just use what is in the cupboard. If I had children, it'd probably be a different situation. We haven't got children here at home. Ours have all grown and flown the nest now. But anyway, take care everybody, and I'll catch up again with you soon.